Today we're going to be looking at how to speed paint tanks in batches. But first we're going to have a look at some images that were sent in by some viewers of the channel, some of their conversions and different ways of saving money in the hobby. So first up we have a guard flyer which was sent in by Taj. This is a proxy for the Forge World Avenger model and so is naturally quite expensive at 120 quid. Here Taj has used plastic kits, the Orc Daggerjet, Punisher Gatling cannon from the Lehman Russ, a few las cannons and other bits and bobs around the model. I think this has turned out really well. It doesn't look nearly as orky as I would have expected it to, but I think the main benefit of this model is not only the savings, but that it's made out of plastic and you haven't got to balance an expensive bit of resin on a flimsy flyer base. So thanks Taj for sending that one in. Next we have some heretic scum. Here are Dan's Traitor Guard that have succumbed to the ruinous powers of Khorne. So here Dan's used a range of different bits from a lot of different kits. We've got some Pan Knight Enforcers, Subjugator bits, I think these are all bits from Necromunda kits, and we've also got some Scion weapons and some Space Marine Reaver heads. Overall this really creates an interesting and unique take to the Traitor Guard model. So great job Dan, thanks for sending those in. If anyone has any other models that they've converted and want to share, please feel free to email them over and I'll include them in a video. So let's quickly go over how I speed paint my tanks in bulk. First you're going to want to apply your primer layer. Here I'm using Chaos Black spray. Then you're going to want to put down your base layer. For me this is Army Painter's Army Green. If you want to apply any camo or patterns, use a large brush to get down a rough shape, using 2 or 3 coats of thin down paint to get solid coverage. Go around these patterns to tidy them up and get some nice crispy lines. I'm now applying a wash, and here's where the advantage of painting these tanks in bulk really comes into play. I can apply the wash to each side individually whilst allowing the wash to completely dry between each step on 4 different tanks. To hide any unwanted markings from the wash, I'm applying an overbrush to the entire model using the same colours as the base colours. Overbrushing is basically the same as dry brushing, you're just leaving more paint on the brush. To add highlights to the model, I'm then going over with a very light dry brush with lighter colours to really make the edges pop. We can then go around and paint the details like the vents, guns and plastic skulls. To paint the tracks I use a large flat brush and paint on a bronze. Here I'm using Army Painter's Weapon Bronze. A Nuln oil wash goes over the top of this, and finally an overbrush is applied with lead belcher. So that's it, that's how I quickly paint tanks in batches. I also add a few other weathering techniques, but I'll do a whole nother video on that. So here's a bit of a showcase and I'll see you in the next one.
We'll be right back.